Hey, what's going on, everybody? Max here with BB, and today for 10 Minutes Max, we're going to be talking about ETH, Pepe, and mainly just ETH and Pepe, because there is a lot to talk about. We are going to refute all of the top calling locally here with some concrete data, brought to you by, of course, the BB Terminal guys. Before we get into it, let's like the stream, let's subscribe to the channel, show some love, leave a comment. I don't know, leave a suggestion, whatever you got to do, but engage with us somehow, some way. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it, guys. So first things first, we are going to look at Pepe. All right. This looks really, really coiled up, guys. I know that this little like walk up that we're seeing right here is super annoying. Like, let's look at it on the 4-hour time frame. We've clearly broken higher. This is, in my view, a pretty clear vertical accumulation, just like the stairs up kind of thing. Every kind of local sweep of the high getting sold into, not taking out the lows, at least as of right now. And we'll probably just continue to do the same thing until they decide to launch it, right? Who they is, we could debate for a long time. But nonetheless, this isn't really a concerning structure. It's more of just an annoying structure where it's going to launch. It's just a matter of, when do they decide that their bags are packed enough and they launch it? So just a real quick kind of market structure study on Pepe that I think people will find very useful. And then we're going to move on. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Is obviously at its core, Pepe is Ethereum beta. Okay, so what that means, I figure most of you probably know at this point. But beta is just like a juiced up version of the main character, right? So in this instance, Pepe is on Ethereum. We know that there's a really strong positive correlation. Sometimes it leads, sometimes it lags, but for Pepe to really perform well, we have a lot of evidence to suggest that we need ETH performing well. And looking at this chart down here on the bottom, I'll put it in blue for ETH just so nobody forgets what it is. ETH is performing quite well, which you love to see, right? But our dear Pepe up top, I'll put this in green so nobody forgets, is just kind of, it's doing decent. It's doing decent. It's just, it just hasn't popped yet, right? But we've seen this before. This isn't something that's entirely new. I mean, a prime example is this Q1 of last year. This Q1 of last year example that I keep talking about. We've seen something very, very similar happen before. So this isn't a major cause for concern where Ethereum broke market structure to the top side, right? It kind of like marked up, went sideways, and then it ripped. And what did it do here? It marked up, it's gone sideways, right? And now it's ripping. And this is the same thing that we saw over here. And I'm going to add even more confluence as to why this is just like a February, March, April of 2024, but even more so right now. It's going to be even better. But just wait. So, Ethereum breaks out right here in middle of February of last year, right? Got above market structure shift above this high. And then we didn't see Pepe really join in the fun until I would say like right here. It took another couple weeks. Okay. So we'll just put this in blue for ETH breaking out, and then Pepe joined it a few weeks later. All right. And over here, ETH broke out right here. And Pepe still hasn't broken out, but it's most likely going to very, very soon, so we'll just throw it somewhere right here. So maybe premature, but nonetheless, we have seen this happen before where Pepe is, trending down when ETH is kind of getting walked up, right? Pepe's trending down while ETH is getting walked up. And then suddenly Pepe hits the greatest catch-up trade of all time. Okay. And there's also been some instances that I will show you right now where Pepe has actually held up better than that of Ethereum, right? So it goes both ways, but ultimately you always return to your sort of fair value. So let me show you a couple examples here. Here was this kind of, reaccumulation before I guess the November pump when Trump won, right? Pepe actually had a shift of structure to the top side before ETH had a shift to the upside. So Pepe actually was performing better than ETH. Pepe shifted market structure to the top side, gave you more juice, and then ETH caught up just a little bit later, right? And how about at the lows here, right? How about at the lows? ETH put in a lower low right here from March to April, and Pepe put in a higher low, right? And then they all just kind of end up catching up and doing the same thing, right? You end up at fair value one way or another, okay? One way or another. So this is just a couple examples. We could go through and mark out even more. But point being is like the beach ball underwater is set, okay? You're going to have to deal with the chop. You're going to have to deal with the annoyance, but a big, big, big move is brewing, right? I am not of the opinion that somehow this correlation, this multi-year long correlation between ETH and Pepe is somehow broken right now. It's not, okay? And let me give you guys another example here. Let's look at this. This is one of my favorite examples here. This is the Coinbase chart. Okay. And actually, what I'm going to have to do here, it always annoys me, but I'm going to have to put coin up top. And we'll put it in blue for Coinbase. So again, this is not ticker coin. I mean, technically it is. That's not a shit coin. This is actually Coinbase. Okay. So this is the exchange. It's a publicly traded company. Okay. So what we're going to do right now, just another example of beach ball underwater, is we're going to add Pepe down below. I'm going to show you how these two tickers are incredibly correlated as well. And it makes perfect sense, right? Like Coinbase is essentially trades like crypto. I mean, it's the thing in which they sell. It's where their revenue comes from. Their business is rooted in it. It makes perfect sense why coin would be trading like crypto and crypto would be trading like coin. They're incredibly similar. And actually, one thing I want to even do here is just to show you another quick example is I'll throw total 2 down here. So total 2 is just everything in crypto outside of the top 10 by market cap. This is not the primary example, but just to show you how, crypto moves like coin and coin moves like crypto. Let me put them together here. I mean, look at these charts here, guys. Look at this. The purple chart is total 2. The blue chart is coin. Okay. It's the same chart. It's the same exact chart, right? So what did we see here recently? This was like the most free money of all time right here. Was right here, coin starts to mark up and go parabolic, right? Coin starts going parabolic here. And total 2 was still kind of just chopping around here, lagging, doing nothing, and then it just caught up to it, like as of past couple days. It was free money sitting on the ground. Look at this correlation. I mean, it goes all the way back even into the bear market. Look at these structures, and they have these little like divergences, and then they always catch up, right? So it's just showing you like, these little leads and lags happen from time to time, but they always end up returning to fair value, which is exactly kind of what I'm expecting Pepe to do. But let's just pull Pepe back up because that's actually what I wanted to talk about. We can remove total 2, but I wanted to just give you another example while we were here, okay? This is another example, right? Look at these ranges that have been forming here. This is coin up top. And I'll even just label this so nobody forgets. Coin, so Coinbase. And this right here in green is Pepe. Change the colors. We're just simply lagging. Like it's just a simple lead and lag. I mean, these charts are so similar. You can just see that we're a little bit behind the structure of coin, right? Coin is continually day after day going up and up and up and up and up. We're starting to see certain crypto assets move higher like ETH, but the smaller caps, the betas, they haven't joined quite yet. They've put in little moves. That's nice, that's cute, but not the big moves yet, right? So to everybody out there saying like, oh, we're like so overextended and like look at like the 4-hour RSI on Pepe or like stuff like that. One, we're lagging. Okay, we are most likely going to catch up. We've been in these tight correlations for years. I don't expect them to just break right now. It's a matter of days, okay? And the next chart that I'm going to show you is a Pepe Doge one, which will give even more credence to the idea that we're doing exactly what we did in Q1 of 2024. And the chart after that is going to be a custom proprietary chart that I don't think I've talked about yet on this channel because we just added the functionality, which is, again, a custom functionality you can only get through BB Terminal. So you're going to want to stick around and see that one. But yeah, guys, we're most likely just doing this little kind of lag. Like we're just in our own little version of this. And then one of these days, Pepe is just gonna, just meet stick, and then it's gonna be on its way, right? And that's what happens. It's the same example as, what happened over here. Look at this over here. Coinbase starts ripping right here off of its low, right? And then Pepe really didn't start moving until over here. Oops. You can see then Pepe starts its rally over here. We're just doing the same kind of lag that we've always done. I could show you dozens of different assets that have the same lead and the same lag. This is when there's free money sitting on the ground, is when you can identify these very tight high time frame correlations and position in the laggard for its catch-up play, as long as it's actually a positive correlation, which in this instance it is. But let's jump over to a pair chart, guys, arguably my favorite pair chart in the entire world. We're going to be looking at Pepe Doge. So let's pull this up here. Okay, guys. So here is Pepe Doge, right? So what this chart is, for those that are new to this concept of pair trading, is that when it moves up like this, it means that Pepe is outperforming Doge. When it's moving down, Doge is outperforming Pepe. Okay. So it just means one is a better hold than the other. Okay. At least for, the time being. Now, here's the thing. We've been puking off of this resistance. Pepe's been trying to break out against Doge since up here. And just real quick, why do we pair trade Doge and Pepe? Think of Doge as like the Bitcoin of meme coins. If your meme coin doesn't have a real chance at outperforming Doge, then you should just hold Doge. It's like the same thesis with any other altcoin. If your altcoin doesn't have a really good pair chart and look good against Bitcoin, then just hold Bitcoin because it's safer. It's more time tested. Why would you take on more risk to underperform? You have to at least have a thesis or a chance. My view with memes is a technical, pair chart decision because they don't have any fundamentals really. You need to have a pair chart that looks promising against the alpha, and Doge is the alpha of meme coins without question. So Pepe's been getting rejected here at this upper trend line for a little bit now. Been working our way through, but pretty clear puke. We were trying to break out here, just couldn't get it done, puked off the low. But Pepe has actually been moving up, just not up as much as Doge. So let's take a look here at Doge. Doge has been ripping face, guys, which you love to see. Like, pay respect to the king. Doge ripping is only a good thing. Okay, it is only a good thing for Pepe. The higher Doge goes, ultimately, the higher all of our other memes will go. So here's the thing. Doge has been moving up, and Pepe Doge has been moving down. It's not bearish Pepe. It's just so bullish Doge, right? Which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Like, we want Doge to go really high, gives us more runway, okay? So for those that are saying, oh, Pepe's been doing terribly, let's take a look at it, right? Let me add up Pepe here. Put it in green so nobody forgets what it is. And then we'll put Doge in gold, because Doge is gold. Goldish. All right, and then we'll even just drag it up here. We'll make a little spaghetti chart. So merge into one on the right, and we'll do percentage. So let me go to the lower time frame here. I need to go even lower just so we can see, like, yeah, so look at this here. So from when the puke happened, the puke started to happen on Pepe Doge right here. It tried to break out, couldn't get it done. I mean, it's really simple. So Pepe Doge has been going down, and Pepe's up 7%. You can look at the y-axis over here. Pepe from that point is still up 7.66%, 7.67%, right? Make this green. It's probably pretty small over there. You might not be able to see it. Doesn't really matter. I'm reading it to you. And Doge just happens to be up 40%. right? So it's not bearish Pepe. So a lot of people will look at this chart and be like, "Oh, Pepe's doing terribly." Pepe, this goes back to July 16th. I mean, that was a week ago. It was less than a week ago. That was 5 days ago. Pepe's up 7.5% in 5 days. That's not bad. It's just not keeping up with Doge at this point, right? Doge is up 39.5%. Pepe's up 7.5%, right? But eventually that dynamic is going to shift. And I'll show you when I think that's going to be. So when this chart starts moving like this, then suddenly you're going to see Pepe doing this and Doge probably just kind of, and then Pepe will, start outperforming Doge. There's just this little song and dance that happens between, these assets because they're so correlated and they're so, tethered together. No pun intended, right? So let's look at Pepe Doge because I wanted to give that example just so you could understand. Like, you need to differentiate between like something is bearish and something is just pair trading, right? What we're seeing here, this is not a bearish chart. Pepe Doge moving down while both assets are green is incredibly bullish because we know that eventually that money's going to flow and rotate from alpha, Doge, into beta, Pepe, and Pepe's going to rip so much higher. It's that on-chain wealth effect. People make millions in Doge. All right, let's throw some of that at Pepe. Let's juice it. That's what happens. Sophisticated, smart money is hitting these pair trades. So here's the thing. We're probably just coming back in to tag this inefficiency, right? Like, we had a pretty thin little markup right in here. This whole region, like, we had a pretty quick gap up, and right now we're simply backfilling this inefficiency. That's all that we're doing. Just chop, 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 backfilling the inefficiency. You're going to see a rotation here pretty soon into Pepe. I think you could maybe see something like this, tag the point of origin of that move. We're basically there. No big deal. But this actually does feel very similar again to what we saw over in this region, which again was, February, March of last year. So let me pull up Pepe Doge right here. Clean this up. And actually what I need to do here is make these drawings. Sync globally. Cool. All right, now we've got our drawings all synced up between the two. All right, so this is going to be a great example. So let's get the time frames lined up as well. This feels extremely similar to what we did again back in Q1. I've given so many examples as to how similar it is. This feels so incredibly similar. So similar. Now, let's go through it more specifically here, okay? And actually what we can do, I'll just redraw this. We don't even need to get into the specifics of the fractal. Let's just do it like this, okay? So what we saw last year in Q1 was the following. We saw a range forming on Pepe Doge, okay? This was your range. You had range high, mid-range, range low. You had demand on the Pepe Doge pair. So again, quick reminder, if this chart's moving up, Pepe is a better hold. If it's moving down, Doge is a better hold. What we're seeing right now is, in my view, another range with similar looking demand sitting right below where we currently are. Something very, very similar, okay? So what happened this time last year, I'll pull up Pepe down below, and we'll make it green. Hopefully you guys don't mind how granular I get and also how tedious I get with making the charts look good, because I really think that making the charts look like really pretty, I think it helps a lot of people like understand what's going on, because this is complicated stuff. It helps to have like a visual that's easy to follow. So hopefully that makes sense. But either way, this feels very, very similar to me. Like range, Pepe's reaccumulating, getting ready for a breakout. And then kind of as it starts to, find its bottom in here, we just get like a final flush out to tag this demand, and then we start moving up. And also, let's look at ETH during this time. Let's look at what ETH was doing. Because obviously we already talked about how we need ETH to perform well in order for Pepe to perform well. Everything really. ETH is, the king of the altcoins, really. So I mean, look at this. Like even the ETH structure looked so similar. I mean, how about this? Let's bring that down a little bit. I mean, we had like an identical shift of structure from that little like scam pump higher, and then ETH just starts going vertical, right? And ETH starts going vertical, breaking above like this structure over here, and it's never going to line up perfectly, but like the spirit of the move is the same, right? Like ETH starts going vertical over here. This was timed up a little bit differently than this one, but point being is like you can see that there was a lag between ETH going vertical and Pepe going vertical, and you can see what the Doge Pepe pair or Pepe Doge pair was doing during that time, right? So we're going to probably see Pepe start going vertical here very soon. Like it's an incredibly similar looking structure. The Pepe Doge pair chart looks like it's just coming into demand similarly to what it did over here. So it looks really interesting, guys. Like I would be looking for a very quick move out of this. Like I would honestly be looking for like this, probably off the back of Doge strength, and then just like vertical, like just vertical recovery, right? Like incredibly quick. Now let's move over to BB Terminal, guys. I want to show you something really, really important. So this is something that we did, which is completely custom, proprietary to BB Terminal. This is our new Degen page, guys. It's basically like a DEX screener or DEX tools, but with custom indicators and settings and functions that really only we offer. And, that's the truth. Like, I mean, one really cool thing, I'll just give you a couple little examples before we get into what I actually want to show you, which is to all the top callers, how far we truly are from actually being at a top. This is my default, so I made this just look like my default trading view. We got these beautiful custom templates here just to help you, again, make the data look beautiful. Black and white, you got blue and white, you got my default, you got all your information, things like that. We just got watch lists done. So, I can see I got the boys club over here. I just added it in advance. You can move your tickers around, easy to sort and organize. You can easily move over and, check things like, Andy, very easy to check it out. Click Wolf, right? I mean, just so easy, clean, organize all your holder data right here. Pie charts, holder count, everything like that. But let's go back to Pepe. This is what I actually wanted to show you guys. And by the way, guys, this is 100% free. No email sign up required, nothing. You literally just click the link down below, bbterminal.com, click on the Degen page. It's literally fantastic. So definitely check it out. But this is what I wanted to show you guys, okay? So what we did here is, let me take one step back. We've talked so much about how there's this alpha beta relationship across every ticker. And when ETH starts moving, Pepe starts moving, but there's sometimes a little lead and lag, right? It just depends. It's what happens. So what we actually did is we incorporated Ethereum derivatives data into BB Terminal. So let me show you. You can go to indicators and see all these ones at the top here. These are all custom proprietary scripts that we made here and incorporated into BB Terminal. You can only get them here through us, okay? Now, you can access like open interest data and things elsewhere, but I think we're the first to actually incorporate like futures data into like a DEX component. I think we're the first to do that. And also, these are, custom scripts that I've made. Like I made this script right here, like colored RSI. Like you can only get this here. You know what I mean? And there's a bunch more like this. We got a moon cycles one, things like that. You can find these elsewhere again, but like, these specifically we made. There's little things to them. But what I really wanted to show you guys, to all the top callers out there, is the Ethereum funding rate, the derivatives data funding rate, okay? So let's tuck this back here. And I want to show you guys how wrong all the top callers are, okay? So this is the funding, this is the funding rate for Ethereum, open interest weighted. And this is just happens to be on Ethereum. So like if you were charting a Solana ticker on here on BB Terminal and you pulled up the funding rate, it would then pull up the Solana funding rate because your token is on Sol. So just another really cool feature. But what I wanted to show you guys here is how every time Pepe's put in a top, we've actually seen Ethereum derivatives data suggesting that like we are getting very, very overheated. Okay. So let's look at some of these tops over here. And here, what I'll do is I'll just turn off the border so you can see some candle coloring. Let's take a look at this here. And then I'll move it up and make it look beautiful. That's my promise to you. We saw a local Pepe top right over here. Okay. So it was right here. And then I'm going to just go through and mark them out, and then we'll then I'll drag it up and it'll make sense in just a second. Okay. And I guess this was kind of elevated funding too, but not huge. So we'll just kind of ignore that for now. Okay. Perfect. Then we'll go over here. Very elevated Ethereum funding. All right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move this up. You just drag and drop. We'll move this back down over here. And then what we'll do is we'll just extend this. So you can see the funding very neatly overlaid with the Pepe price chart. So this is the Ethereum futures data. So Ethereum futures funding rates over on-chain Pepe. Okay. So look at this chart, guys. We've had elevated funding for Ethereum every single time that we've seen a high time frame top in Pepe. Okay. And specifically, we've seen this level get tagged. Okay. We've seen this level get tagged right here. So top, I will add some highlights here. So top, distributive top, top. This one I didn't really highlight, but again, elevated funding, top. How about over here? Top, right? You know, you can see all over the chart when funding gets elevated for ETH, you can see what happens. Look at where we're at right now, guys. We're not even close to this line. We're not even close. Like, you're not seeing ETH futures funding getting overheated at all. Like, you're seeing a lot of open interest hit the tape, which I can show you right now because we added open interest as well. So you're seeing ETH open interest going crazy, and there's going to be some big flushes and things like that. But that alone is not enough. Like, actually, what's a much better determinant of whether you're going to get a huge like open interest wipe is whether you start to see funding kind of get crazy, right? You can get some local wipes and things like that, but it's not even that crazy right now. And by the way, because funding is so muted, a lot of these positions, this open interest that's climbing, it doesn't have to all be longs. It could be shorts. That might be affecting the funding as well. So this is just what I want to show you, that like every top for Pepe has come with severely elevated Ethereum futures funding. Look at where we're at. Not even close. Not even close. And then, by the way, we can use our compare function right here, and let's add something like Andy, right? Like my favorite Pepe, Pepe beta. So let's add Andy onto there. And obviously Andy is, much newer. Oops. Andy is obviously much, much newer than Pepe, so it didn't even really exist back there. But like it's the same concept, right? Where it's like, look at the top. Here, I'll add there's Andy down there. Okay, so Pepe up top. Make it green. Andy Make it gold. See how Andy topped as well when ETH futures got really overheated and funding was super expensive? It's going to be the exact same thing this time around, right? So like this is why you should be using also BB Terminal, because we give you these tools that other platforms simply do not. And again, they're 100% free. So you can come on here and watch the Ethereum futures funding. And when that funding rate gets outrageously high towards that line, 0.06, probably getting a little frothy. So to all the people that are out there calling top right now super nervous, I'm like, as long as we have price history here, like we've seen tops form the same way with elevated funding going all the way back to 2023. We're not even close. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Check out BB Terminal. Again, 100% free, no sign up required. If you want to get the premium version, though, with a bunch of really cool functionality, we have like if you sign up for BB Terminal, you get all these custom indicators, that we built here, proprietary. You can add them all to your trading view. So you can get these included in your BB Terminal membership. You can get heat maps, right? So you can see where liquidation levels are on the chart, for Bitcoin, ETH, Pepe, doesn't matter. Like literally anything you can even look at Pepe, right? Like it's just literally your all-in-one super website, right? You can make a spaghetti chart to compare, how certain assets are doing against each other, right? So like automated spaghetti charts, super easy to, add things on and off, right? Super, super useful. We got the DCA page, so like on-chain data for Bitcoin and ETH, like some of the best things to look at for tops and bottoms. Like here's one of my favorite, Bitcoin terminal price. So we've put all of our favorite stuff like in one amazing website, right? MVRV, you can see like all this and then descriptions of everything below. So it's like you can not only use, Degen, right, which is just like your all-in-one, super website for on-chain, like infinite tickers, everything like that, but we gave you literally every single tool all in one. Now, some of this stuff it's premium stuff, right? So like you can use Degen for free, all the functionality we talked about. But if you want to use like the heat map, spaghetti chart, DCA, like all this stuff, and get all of our indicators again, like some of the best indicators out there. Like they're truly unbelievable. Um, you got to sign up, but it's not too expensive. So it really is, I would argue, the best value in all of crypto. We give you literally everything all in one. So anyways, guys, thanks so much for being here. We will see you next time, and everybody take care.